Hello, friends. Do you love to travel and learn about new places and things? Great! Then you are in the right place. Join Jasmine the cat and Gracie the tortoise as they have fun exploring the USA, the world, and beyond.
Hello, friends. It's Jasmine, the jazzy gray cat, here with my bestie Gracie, the super smart tortoise. Say hi, Gracie.
Greetings, my good friends. Gracie here. I'm so glad you joined us today as we learn some facts about the beaver.
Gracie! Beavers are those animals that chew up wood and build dams.
That's right. But there are two types of beavers. One lives in North America, and the other one is the Eurasian beaver that lives in Europe and Asia. But today, we're going to focus on the North American beaver. Beavers are mammals and the largest rodents in North America. An animal is called a rodent when they have front teeth that never stop growing. Some other rodents are mice, rats, squirrels, porcupines, woodchuck. Here's a fun fact, Jasmine. 40% of all mammals are rodents.
Wow! I didn't know that. The North American beaver is the second largest rodent in the world. I hope they aren't sad about being second to the capybara, who's the largest rodent in the world and lives in South America. Beavers are kind of cute. Their fur is thick and brown and keeps them dry even when they're swimming. They have short legs with webbed toes and a flat tail. Beavers are 3 to 4 feet long, but not very tall at only 12 to 18 inches high. They are chubby guys, weighing in from 35 to 65 pounds.
Let's get back to those teeth. If you look closely at beavers, you will notice that those long teeth are orange.
Orange? Do they eat a lot of oranges?
No, Jasmine, they don't. I believe you mentioned that beavers like to chew on wood. They need strong teeth to be able to chew on something so hard. So these front teeth have iron in them to make them strong.
Okay, that makes total sense. My teeth aren't orange, and so they're not strong enough to chew on a tree. Since their teeth always keep growing, all this chewing keeps them from getting too long. But I hope they don't get splinters from all that wood.
No, Jasmine, they don't get splinters.
That's good. Splinters hurt. You know, Gracie, beavers look funny when they move on land. They kind of move back and forth or waddle like ducks.
I suppose that's true, but those webbed back feet and flat tails help them swim quickly and easily through the water, speeding along at up to 6 miles per hour. That's twice as fast as a person. You can think of them as gnawing submarines. Not only that, beavers have large lungs and can stay underwater for up to 15 minutes. No need for a diving helmet or scuba equipment because they have a clear third eyelid that protects their eyes and a special flap at the back of their mouth that keeps water out. This flap even lets them chew underwater.
That's pretty handy. Gracie, did you know that people and beavers are alike?
Jasmine, I can't imagine what people and beavers have in common.
Well, here it is. People and beavers both like to change up their environment to make them look better. No other animals are good at doing it as they are. People like to add to nature by making stuff like houses, roads, and gardens. Beavers prefer to add to the beauty of the water by building dams and houses called lodges. Beavers build dams across rivers and then make new ponds. They use sticks, branches, and even small trees, which are held together by mud and rocks. These new ponds are a great place for beavers to hide from their enemies and keep warm in the winter. But they're not only thinking of themselves when they make these dams. Dams are super good for the environment because these new water areas make great new habitats for fish and other water creatures.
Not to mention they're great places for beavers to live. A beaver home is called a lodge. It is dome-shaped, looking like half a circle sticking out of the water. Beavers make their homes on islands in the water.
And these lodges have super secret entrances under the water. Cool! I wonder if they have a secret password to get in.
I suppose they could. These homes are very cozy, made from sticks, rocks, and mud, which keep the house warm. Air comes into the home through a small hole in the roof. The floor stays warm and dry from wood shavings, which also make a nice soft bed.
Lodges sound like really snuggly homes. I would really like to visit one, but I don't think I would like to use the underwater door, even with a secret password.
Maybe you could wear a wetsuit. Not only do beavers build with wood, they also eat wood.
Really? They eat trees? That sounds like a chewy dinner.
I don't think they eat large trees, Jasmine. Beavers like to munch on tree bark or the softer parts of the wood underneath the bark. Favorite trees are poplar, aspen, willow, birch, and maple. These happen to be the same trees they like to build with.
Jinkies! So they can work and munch all at the same time. Very handy.
It is. Beavers also like leaves, woody stems, and water plants. To get ready for winter, they collect branches and store them at the bottom of the pond. The cold water of the pond is like a refrigerator keeping the wood fresh. This way they have food to eat without going out into the cold. And when they eat, beavers hold their food in their front paws, just like hands.
I want to talk about those handy tails. The tails are flat and look like a paddle and are covered with scales. They use them to steer when they're swimming and to talk to other beavers. When danger is near, they slap their tails on the water to warn other beavers or to scare away their enemies.
Not only that, but the tails help them when they're working. Tails help beavers stay balanced when they're carrying heavy branches and are useful for patting down mud. Fat is stored in them and then used during the cold winter.
Beaver tails are really great, and I know a legend from the Native American Ojibwe tribe. The story tells why beaver tails are flat. Gracie, do you want to hear it?
Of course I do, Jasmine.
Great, here goes. Once upon a time, long, long ago, the beaver used to have a beautiful fluffy tail, like a fox or a squirrel. It was very pretty, and the beaver was very braggy about it, always showing off. This did not make him popular with a lot of other animals. One day, as the beaver was cutting down a tree, he was not looking where the tree was falling, and it fell right on his soft, fluffy tail. His tail was stuck. Beaver pulled and pulled, and finally it came out. But now his beautiful fluffy tail was all flat and squished. Beaver was so sad, and he began to cry. The great creator heard him and asked what was wrong. Beaver showed him his ruined tail. The creator showed him how to use his new tail to swim fast and to talk to other beavers. Beaver decided his new tail was pretty great. The other animals were very surprised when they saw the new tail. Beaver showed them how much better it was than his old one, and he never bragged again. This gave him lots of new friends, and he lived happily ever after. The end.
That was a wonderful story, Jasmine. Now, are you ready for beaver jokes?
I sure am. Let's do a knock-knock joke. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Beaver.
Beaver who?
Beavery quiet. I'm hiding. Now, my favorite fact was that beavers have orange teeth from the iron that makes them very strong. How about you, Gracie?
My favorite fact was that beavers build lodges to live in the middle of ponds. How about you, friends? What was your favorite fact? Don't forget to tell someone you love.
That's right, and come back next time for the armadillo. Bye now. Say goodbye, Gracie.
Goodbye, my dear friends. See you next time.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining Jasmine and Gracie on their adventure today. Come back next week for the next one.
Hello, everybody. It's Gwen here. If you want to know more about the places we visited, just go to our website, jasmineandgracie.podbean.com, and go to the sources page, and you can find out all about the great places that we visited. See you next week. Bye-bye.